the star man scoring the last penalty, and he turns around and his team is actually not running towards him. That was before. I'm joking.
United fans.
Why are you doing this now? There's no need.
Certain Invincibles won't be as rated. I can't lie.
People are moving like they're a cult. Like, we can't talk out on them. Like, or we can't fight. No, bro, talk back.
Because it's so inconsistent on a
Talk
regular
up on
basis.
That, and they did, because they bottled a 3-0 lead.
I'm going to stick a pin in that proud
word. I knew you was going there, because I got something to say on that one.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Keep It 90, brought to you by the House of NNESAGA, supported by Spotify. We've got everyone but Anita in the building. She has sent her regards. She has said, we're not going to say what she said about Chelsea, but we send love to her anyway. There's been a lot of action this week, a lot to talk about, a lot of competitions, people getting knocked out, people going through, howlers, offsides, close offsides. There's been everything.
Penalty decisions.
So before we get onto that, I want to ask everyone how their weekend was, bar the football.
A lot of rest for me. I mean, obviously, me and Prince, we went to go see WWE on Friday.
That was lit.
That was wavy. Shout out to Google Pixel and NNESAGA for that one.
I didn't get it bringing, but it's calm. It's calm. I've been watching wrestling since I was like 5, but you know, it's calm. Like, none of the man them shouting me. But,
Sorry.
Nah, it looked good though. It looked really
I
good.
was good. We saw the American Nightmare. He was there. That was unexpected.
Oh, was he not supposed to be there?
Well, you know what it is? Because apparently they still had SmackDown. That's in the States. So apparently it was a lot of the guys that aren't in the storyline. They were the ones in the UK.
Okay.
But then, we had
The
Cody.
biggest champions were there.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes was there.
Damien Priest.
Damien
World
Priest,
champion. Sami Zayn. There was loads of them that was there. It was a lit time, man.
Surprising.
I need to go to. They need to bring WrestleMania here, but that's another.
I think they will. So apart from that, it was just resting and chilling.
Literally.
What about you, Shiz?
Friday, me and Steph, our CEO, we went for a night workout.
Oh yeah, how was it? Was it a lot?
Can't lie, it was a lot, but we got through it. So you know them ones where you're happy you got through it, but afterwards you're aching. I'm screaming.
I tried to warn you.
Yeah. You warned me still.
I tried to warn you.
But do you know what? It was good. And then on the Saturday, I went to escape room.
Did you escape?
Small, you know what I'm saying? And we got through it 90%. But you know what I'm saying? The other 10%, we just left it. We parked it.
So that means you didn't escape.
No, we escaped in the end. But you know what I'm saying?
Got you.
It was good. It was a good weekend.
Okay.
How about you, Sam?
It's
we
been a
ain't
minute.
seen Sam.
Yeah.
Come like Sam is our guest now. I ain't seen Sam in how long?
You know what it is? I need a break now. I'm joking. I had another shoot on the last time we were recording. And I actually wanted to come to give my prediction for a few of the games because obviously Arsenal, Champions League, we'll get onto that later. But I genuinely believed in you lot. And I think you would have been surprised by my approach, but that was before. I'm joking. I know it's still fresh. I am just joking. Yeah. But apart from that, my weekend was calm. What did I do this weekend?
Patience. God has taught me patience.
I saw them both look down and breathe. They were like,
you know what I mean?
I respect that.
It's cool.
I didn't actually do anything but not play football, watch football. It was a football weekend, really.
Can I be real? The last 2 weeks of football, hats off to all the teams because we have seen some results. I've seen all over Twitter. This is the best 2 weeks of hate watching I've seen in my life, but it has been very entertaining, and it actually really feels like season finale.
Who started the term hate watching? Because
United fans.
No, was it United fans though?
Yeah, man, it's them.
Because obviously we know what it is to watch a team that you don't support and want them to lose. But once that term has come to life, it's like it's giving it a whole new meaning
and a different energy.
When I was watching United yesterday, the way I was rooting for commentary,
there's a little hate in me too.
Yeah, it just felt mad. And to be fair, we might as well go straight into it because the FA Cup, it delivered this weekend.
Oh, it was
obviously, we know the magic of the FA Cup. We know what they're trying to do with the competition next year and the beauty of it now. The fact that we're going to see it in its, I'd say, its final form before it changes, and that was maybe the last game that we'll see in that form, I think it was just incredible. Yeah. Like, Manchester United, obviously, 3-0 up. Coventry come back, 3-3. Deserved to take the lead. Yes. But VAR stood in the way and crushed everyone's dreams, and then United won on penalties. What are we saying? How did we feel after watching that game?
Hard done by, man.
You said hard done by, that's just
Like, as a Coventry City fan, first of all, how you bottling a 3-0 lead? Yeah. Like, how did we get here? Mm-hmm. And everyone keeps saying, "Oh, but United haven't really been good this season." But I'm just like, you're getting outplayed by like an 8th in the Championship team. And don't get me wrong, they're like, no offense to them.
No, they've got ballers.
They have ballers still, and
serious nuisances as well. They were really everywhere, active.
Mm-hmm. But man, I don't know, man. United is just I don't know how it happened, but they gave us a game. Yeah, they gave us a game.
I think as soon as they went 3-0 up, fair enough. Yeah, when Coventry scored the first, everyone said, not again. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? But obviously, we didn't want to believe it because you've seen what's happened with United. I think it's in the last 4 or 5 games, the teams that they faced have come back to either beat or draw with them majority of the time. Yeah. So I feel like they have that in their head as well. But one thing I can say, and why I can understand why United fans are slightly onto Ten Hag, is because of the changes that he made. I think Garnacho coming off and Kobbie Mainoo coming off at the time that they did. Yes, you could say you're supposed to rotate your squad. You're playing a lot of games. But these two have been 2 of your key players this season. Yeah. And there were other players on that pitch that wasn't having the games that they were having. Yeah. So them coming off and then Coventry scoring, I think a minute after, is like, Ten Hag, can you really make any excuse here? Yeah. Is it your fault? Is it the team's fault? Like, who are we blaming? Who are we saying is like at fault for that?
All of them.
I think is you know what it is? It's so easy sometimes. And not that I'm talking about them, my own team, but I feel like it's easy to blame a manager sometimes. Yeah. When realistically, there's a lot you can actually just not blame on the manager. If a player don't run, that's not the manager's fault. If a player can't finish, that's not the manager's. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things, if he's not marking his guy, it's not like he doesn't train. It's not his fault. Sometimes it's a thing where managers do get scapegoated, but at the same time, Ten Hag, sometimes you do some things, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you doing this now? There's no need. And then I think why people or Man United fans really get onto Ten Hag sometimes is responses to certain things. The team will play bad. I think we played amazing. They will lose. I think we played great. I think we played.
He is king of the Lulu.
He does that, yeah. And I think that's where the frustration comes from, and that's where it is. But I can't lie, man. The players got to take responsibility too. That's just my opinion.
I think they underestimated Coventry City as well. So they went 3-0 up and they were like, let's make the changes, man. Like, these guys clearly ain't going to do nothing. But it's the FA Cup semi-finals. Like, you can't underestimate any team, regardless of where they are in their league or whatever's going on. You can't underestimate anyone.
And I said that, and Anita, this is for you, because I messaged her yesterday. She's lucky she ain't here today. I was going to cook her. Because remember when we were talking, she was like, oh yeah, Man United's going to breeze them. Oh yeah. And I said, yo, this FA Cup's not a joke. When teams get there, it's anyone's game. Even the final, everyone thinks Man United's going to get steamrolled. We don't know, you know.
Yeah, we do.
Let's be honest. We actually don't know. Realistically, okay, yeah, Man City's going to steamroll. We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know.
That's true.
So, yeah, but I feel sorry for them, especially for a team that's not used to VAR antics on a regular basis. That must be the most heartbreaking thing.
What are you lot saying about that line, man? Let's get into that.
No,
because that line looked a bit.
No, you know what it was? He was off. Like, he was off, and it's not nice. Man. It's not nice to hear or nice to see, but it's just VAR. We accept it for what it is. When you saw like the thinner lines, he was clearly off by like a. If he was size 7, he would have been onside. He's probably a size 10 or 11, and he was offside. And even at the moment when he went through. In my head, I was saying, let O'Hare get that ball. Or I think the person that scored, I think it was Torp that scored, when he was running through, I was thinking, let him touch it. Because Wright slightly looked offside, but I was like, okay, maybe it's tight. When I saw the VAR, I was like, I was right. Like, it was. But you know what it is? It's interesting because I've never seen a game like that for Manchester United be a win, them going into the final, but feel like a loss. Like, when have we ever seen a team win on penalties, the star man scoring the last penalty, and he turns around and his team is actually not running towards him.
Yeah,
like we've not seen that before. Like, Coach, what are you saying for how United move forward from this? Because I think they're in a difficult spot at the moment.
It's hard to tell, isn't it? Because Ten Hag's going to stay there. Because I think Radcliffe's already come out and said he's staying to the end of the season, which makes sense. So I think at this point, it's just pride, really, isn't it? It's just at this point, what we've got six games left. Six games left. They got a final. They just got to put their best foot forward. Basically, that's all it is really at this point. Because there's not too much more the team can do at this stage. So yeah, just try and get yourself into. No, they can't even get themselves into Champions League. Yeah,
it's done.
Yeah, that's done for them. I was just thinking about it. So boy, Europa and that's it. Europa and hopefully get yourself an FA Cup win. That's
it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with United because they've been leaking goals. They've got a lot of injuries. I do slightly feel for Ten Hag because during that game, I was saying that okay, he has made it to a final, so that's 3 finals in 2 years. Yeah, that is not a bad return for a manager that's just stepped into one of the biggest jobs in the world. But when you contextualize it and you see what the results have been and the way they've been playing and the way they've been defending, the only thing that I can put in his favour is the fact that he actually hasn't been able to pick his strongest 11 all season.
Okay.
Like he's not been able to do that. And yes, we can talk about the other teams like Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton have had injuries, Liverpool have had spurts as well. But I think for him, he's so over-reliant on his star players playing. And when the players that he wants to start don't play, you can tell the difference straight away. So I don't know. I think they're not going to stick with him because I think at this point, that, like we said, a win feeling like a loss and so many people coming out and saying, Tuchel might be the next manager and they might be favouring him in the summer and things like that. I think it's going to be difficult. Yeah, that would hurt me as well.
No, that would break my heart.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
No, seriously.
But it looks like all the lines are like they're just working in that way.
Again, I was at the Palace game, so I missed the first bit. So before Mainu and Garnacho came off, were they actually having an impactful game?
I actually didn't. I wasn't watching either. But from what I heard, they were good enough.
They were calm. It was at the end of the day, it was a calm game. Yeah. It was all right. How can I explain this? It looked like a Prem team versus Championship team. That's just what it was. That's how it looked. Then afterwards, this is where game management, experience, and correct decisions and stuff like that come into the game because at the end of the day, it's still professional football. Everyone's professional. Don't matter what league you're in. Like, you get me? If you're a professional footballer, you can do a job a lot better than a lot of other people in the world. And that's where stuff starts happening and changes were made. I wouldn't say anyone was like, out of this world, brilliant. I think Bruno played very, very well. But other than that, like, no one was like out of this world. But it was a thing of, do you know what I mean? There was clearly a difference when
they didn't get better. And one of the players that came on was Anthony. He's now gone viral for the way he reacted to the penalty win. He cuffed his ears at the Coventry fans.
Oh my
God. It's
embarrassing.
At that point, I think there needs to be a level of pride that players take in those situations. You heard Maguire and Bruno talk after the game, and they said we shouldn't have been in that position.
Yeah.
We just shouldn't have. And that's what you expect from someone that knows who Manchester United are and what that situation could have been if they didn't win that penalty shootout. Anthony, I expected better still.
I was trying to look right at the clips when penalties were taken, thinking, were they trying to wind up Anthony? Anthony weren't even near. Like, he was in the middle of the team. So he wasn't even near if there was like communication from Coventry players when things were going wrong in the penalties. Yeah. For you as a Premier League player to do that, it's not like you've done that against like a Man City in a final and you've won the cup. You've done it against a Championship team with players that have actually been on the pitch and performed better than you have this season, furthermore, because you've had a terrible season. Shocking. And you want to be here doing all it. Have shame. Because I'm not going to lie, what have you actually done?
He's got one
to
assist.
Celebrate like
He's got one assist in the league this season.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, like away from everything, how can you, as a player, come onto the pitch the way you have this season, be so shocking, and then have the nerve to taunt a Championship team? Shake their hand. Say, you know what?
You should be proud of them. Nah, facts.
Do you know what I mean? If that was me, I'm like, yo, you lot really took us to the limits, you know?
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? VAR, it gets us every week. You know what I mean? Start that. come on, man, encourage the team and say, yo, you lot have something
did
here.
your big
Build
one,
up.
and they did, because they bottled a 3-0 lead.
Disgusting.
You went up 3-0, and then you allowed them to get you 3-3, and you're telling me you're gonna go like this in their face.
Yeah,
like,
no,
come
of
on,
And
man.
you came on the pitch and did what? No
Come on,
effect,
man.
but you have the nerve to fix up, man.
Yeah. Well, they made it to the final. There was another incident actually in the other game. We got to talk about it. Man City versus Chelsea. 1-0 win to City. I think it was a very tired City. It was very obvious to see. Pep said it after the game. He was very angry.
Not surprised.
It was. I think it was probably one of the best performances I've seen from both sides, but for different reasons. So I'd say City because you could tell that they were tired, but they really wanted it. Like, I've never seen Kevin De Bruyne have that type of like aggression in some of the challenges he was going in for. You could tell he was angry that they exited the Champions League. They didn't create that many chances, but there was just that heart to keep going. Yeah. Chelsea probably created more chances against this City side than we have against the likes of Sheffield United, Everton, not Everton because beat them 6-0, but Burnley as well. Those two draws. Like, Pochettino got that game plan perfectly right, in my opinion. And unfortunately, like the last 4 or 5 times we've been to Wembley, we just didn't make it count. And it's unfortunate because we spoke off air about Nico Jackson. He's a player that splits opinion. Some people think he's not great. Some people think he's got good attributes but needs to improve his striking in front of goal. Yeah. I think that game was very evident that there's not a confidence in front of goal that needs to be there for a striker that plays for Chelsea.
But is there? But is there? And what I mean by that is, you say, is there a confidence there? But we saw a couple of days before that he was livid that he wasn't allowed to take a penalty. Yeah. So for you to have that kind of confidence a couple of days beforehand, where it's like, give me the ball, I want this penalty. And even after Palmer scored it, he was still kicking off. At least Madueke was like, all right, fair play, let's keep it playing. He was adamant, like, bro, he was pissed. So come Saturday, you get all those chances at Wembley against City, and you don't hit none of them. Something's wrong there. So maybe the confidence is there and the ability is not there. Or
I think that's what it is.
What you think the confidence is, but the ability is not. I kind of think it's the other way around. I think the thing is with Jackson, and I know Chelsea fans have been cooking him. I said it a while ago. There's not a high expectation for myself personally. I never had a high expectation for Jackson. Bearing in mind, Jackson was actually not a striker. He's not actually a striker, for one, but he's playing there. Second thing we got to appreciate, and he plays. The second thing we have to actually appreciate, he's available, and he's a nuisance as well. He is a nuisance player. Like, at the end of the day, when everything away from finishing, when he's running for the ball, trying to hold up the ball, strength, and trying to do link up play, he's annoying. He does annoy defenders. I've seen him do it against Konate and Van Dijk, and he was shrugging them off the ball. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. I think the issue is with Jackson is that, unfortunately, with Chelsea's position right now, we can't afford for a player to not be clinical right now. Innit? The only thing I'm going to say to Chelsea fans, as much as, he does deserve to be cooked for the chances he does miss, let's chill off, because at the same time, he's still young. Give him time to actually try and grow into the Premier League game, into this league, and let's see where he is in a couple of years.
I agree. I completely agree.
Know, man. That chance there,
it's inexcusable.
That chance was inexcusable, bro. He was on goal.
But then tell me there's not strikers. Tell me a striker this season that ain't had one.
But it's City, bro. You can't not. You have to take your chances when you can get them.
I hear that, and this is my point that I've got from that, but also just strikers in general. If we look at all of the top sides in the league, we don't have to say just historically. So we'll say Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United. There's not strikers in either any of those teams that are actually, except from City, that are actually clinical.
Bags, man.
Like,
full on bags,
where
man.
we're gonna, you got Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus and Havertz. You've got Liverpool, Darwin Núñez, who's got the worst conversion rate in Europe's top 5 leagues. Jackson, who is second after that in terms of conversion rate as well. There's not clinical strike. You look at Spurs, they've got Timo Werner. Son, yes, he's here and there, but he's not a striker. Do you know what I mean? So there's actually not those clinical strikers. So I think it's, when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, cool. it's a Jackson problem, but I think it's just a problem in football.
In
I think it's a problem in football. We don't really have that many clinical strikers that you can say, if they're one-on-one, the way Jackson was one-on-one 2 or 3 times, he's going to sort it around him or he's going to take it round and he's just going to slow it in.
I can't lie, my boy Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins. But he's built that confidence because before Emery, he would have missed those same chances. He would have missed those same chances. When he first started at Villa, everyone was thinking like, "What? He's not made the step up yet."
Yeah.
Emery gave him that confidence, and you got to give Emery credit.
But he's grown into it.
Exactly.
And that's what I say with Jackson. Like, let the guy grow into it. He might. I'm not saying, but it's not the first time we've seen somebody not be clinical and then become a beast. It's not the first time. So, and if Jackson does get that side to him, he is going to be an animal because he gets past his defenders. He's quick. He's a nuisance.
I hear that game was a winnable. It was a winnable game.
It was a winnable game.
I can't lie. The amount of chances that you lot got, I'm not even trying to hear.
I actually thought Chelsea
But it wasn't all Jackson. But it wasn't all Jackson.
There was Palmer as well.
So was the last 4 though. The Liverpool Carabao Cup final, the Liverpool final,
FA Cup final.
We dominated all of those games and we just don't win.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate. But for Chelsea fans, when you see those few chances not go in, you're like, I've seen this story before. I've seen this story before. It's just unfortunate. And I think there's certain things that you can be upset about. But I said to Prince off air, and I said it to you guys as well, actually, like, when you take that situation out of everything that we've been through this year, Chelsea actually haven't been that bad. Like, I think that was our first loss in quite a few games, actually. We've drawn games that we should have won, so it's felt like losses. But when you look at how many points that we've actually been able to accumulate in that time, we've actually done well. I think we're 3rd or 4th in the league for how many points we've got since the start of the year. So that's not bad. But now it's about how you end the season, because people don't, like we said weeks ago, because of the way we started the season, we don't have that room to not have good games back to back. If we win a game, fine, 6-0. If we lose the next game, we're in turmoil, because it's literally we're still 9th. Like, do you know what I mean? We haven't got that. We haven't got the United cushion where they can lose a few games and still be 6th or 7th. Do you know what I mean? So man.
But you know what? You guys have got a few games because West Ham. I didn't know, but just in games in general, I just realised West Ham have played 34. You guys have played 31. You guys can easily overtake West Ham to get into 8th, and then you're not too far behind United.
3 points behind United. Got a game in hand, but at the same time, you can't believe anything yet. You just can't trust in anyone because we don't know what side is going to turn up. Like that's what's unfortunate. But hopefully, all these setbacks that these young players are taking, I hope that it is giving them like the hunger to just want more, because they're very young to get to a Carabao Cup final. They've been to Wembley twice. This is their first full season together. One of the youngest squads in the league, one of the youngest squads in Europe. The only thing that I just necessarily didn't like, and we could talk about it now, the penalty situation. And then I didn't want to, but we've seen the viral clip. Thiago Silva upset, and then players behind, man,
laughing around.
Was he crying?
Yeah, he was crying. Obviously, I think that might potentially his last.
I think that was his last Wembley trip, innit?
Last game at Wembley. You could tell how much it meant to him. That clip should have been an emotional clip where you get to, really see what it means to one of the best players to ever play the game. But instead, the new narrative is he cares and the younger players don't care as much. How do you feel about that, Prince? Because I know a few Chelsea fans were not happy, boy.
I got very mixed feelings. At the end of the day, all right, 2 sides. Yeah, I don't believe if you lose a big game, I don't believe that you should be laughing on the pitch. But then you got to also remember football's changed a lot, and rivalries are not the same. A lot of these guys are friends. Let's actually be real here. They're boys. You know what I mean? When Arsenal play Chelsea tomorrow, a lot of them are actually friends. So you're gonna see your friend if you play against you know what I'm saying? It's a weird one. I think it was ill-timed, but at the end of the day, look. The football's changing. It's not the same. It's not, you know what I mean? I feel like personality and a bit more freedom instead of being more professional is more of the game now. That's come in. Yeah.
Because if you look at Arsenal, we've got a young team. You don't have that same, I'm not going to say kiddie mentality, but you don't have that same what's going on at Chelsea. And then
but I say you did when Aubameyang and Lacazette was there, you lot had it, but you grew out of it. let's not forget. That's what I'm trying to say.
Came in,
yeah, but that's
that stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. But
now we're a
we
lot more
can't,
disciplined as a younger team.
That's what I mean.
But we was an older team.
Yeah,
Then.
No, you still had a lot of young players that were coming through, and they weren't necessarily.
Most of them were
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I was about to say. They're older. You're talking about your team being young and the personalities, but what you're talking about with Abayomi, that's a 30-plus-year-old man.
But I remember, like, for example, there was a final that you lot lost to Man City. It was 3-0, and I remember Gary Neville was going crazy because your players were walking around on the pitch with their heads down, not chasing the ball. This is what I'm saying. It's changed a lot. Whereas old school football, like even if you're free, like how Coventry was yesterday, you don't stop. Like, this is what I mean. I feel like a lot of mentality has changed in football a lot. Like, I just feel like it's a genuine change. And obviously, maybe it's just, like I said, I don't agree with Madueke. You shouldn't be laughing with Grealish. But at the end of the day, look, it happens, isn't it? You see your friends. It's not the first time it's happened. It's just the camera caught it.
Yeah, but you just see,
But he do it in a tunnel. And
I don't want to be those old-fashioned guys, because I don't want to be. But at the same time, it's not a good look. After the penalty situation, after these things, that it's looking like there's not enough control of like the narrative of your club. Like Poch had to say after the Everton game when we won 6-0 that Chelsea fans, Palmer is the designated penalty. That should not be happening. No. Do you know what I mean? So it's like those type, and the fact that he said that he told the squad and that situation happened seems like there's disciplinary issues. I don't know whether it's that deep, and I don't want to make any claims, but I just think those situations don't happen at clubs where the manager is feared to that extent. So I'm hoping that these situations, that the fact that they're happening because they're young, they're going to be seeing it. If I'm in that change room and I see that video and I'm sitting next to him, I'm going to be like, bro, like, this doesn't look good. Like, doesn't look good. So hopefully it changes, because Noni had a decent game. He's been decent in the last few weeks. I think there's more of a hunger in the squad to just want to be better. And hopefully it carries through.
Yo, guys, it's us from Keep It 90. Massive thanks to Spotify for supporting us. Have you given us a follow yet? If you haven't, make sure you do.
Let's move on, because we don't need to talk about Chelsea anymore. We could talk about Arsenal and their current standing in the Premier League, because they won 2-0 against Wolves. Should we talk about? Let's talk about the Champions League first. Then we'll go into the Premier League, because of what happened in
because I think there's a build up. I think we should, because there's been a build up of.
I don't mind.
Yeah. So obviously the Champions League, Arsenal went away to the Allianz Arena and lost 1-0. I think it was a game that they could have won, but as soon as kickoff happened, you could see there was, I don't know if it's a fear, I just think there was a lack of experience in that environment, because the Allianz was bouncing. I've never seen Arsenal look as disjointed as they did in that game. So them winning and the Bayern players coming up clutch, like the senior players, Neuer, Kimmich, like Musiala had one of the best games I've seen. You could tell he's even got that experience. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So what do you guys think about that game?
Boy, flashbacks. It's one of them games where, first things first, I was proud of the fact that as Arsenal we got that far to begin with. Here we go.
Nah, carry on.
But with that being said,
why are you nudging? Nah, what's going on? Why is there nudging happening?
No. I'm not trying to get to it.
Let Coach do his thing.
I want you to finish that point, but I'm gonna stick a pin in that proud
word. I knew you was going there, because I got something to say on that one.
But with that being said, there was a level of frustration I did have watching that game. I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know what it is with the players, but from when you think outside of Bayern Leverkusen, Arsenal are probably one of the most informed teams in Europe.
Facts.
You just didn't get that vibe from watching that game. I'm not being funny. A backline as De Ligt and Eric Dyer.
You got to take advantage.
Yeah, we needed chances, and I just couldn't see where the chances were coming from. And the reason why I say maybe it's a fatigue thing, because again, someone like Saka, again, maybe last 3-4 games, he's not been having the greatest time.
Martinelli.
I'll be honest with Martinelli. I think it was Martinelli anyway, which is kind of wound me up, because even when I was thinking about it today, Porto, the first leg, it was his misplaced pass which caused the 1-0, which led us to lose that game. And if my memory serves me right, for this game, he was the one marking Kimmich, but he was on the wrong side of Kimmich.
Yes.
Yep.
So because his lapse of concentration on even marking Kimmich to begin with, that's what led to the header, and then we're 1-0 down, and now we're out of the Champions League. Not to say you blame the whole 90 minutes on him, but that's 2 instances in 2 big games where...
Big moments.
Big moments where you are sort of in and around what has led to us losing the game. Some changes I think needed to be made, which we just never saw. Like, for me, first leg... Jorginho didn't have the greatest game against Musiala. Second leg, we've got a fit Thomas Partey on the bench. He's not coming on to at least try and change things up in the game.
Yeah.
So instead of bringing on someone like him, you've got Eddie Nketiah coming on. And I don't know, there's just a few tactical changes which I'm surprised with Arteta, because one thing I've noticed about Arteta is he seems to learn from his mistakes that we've seen this season, whether against Liverpool or other teams. He figures out a way.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he wasn't figuring that out in this game. And... it was 1-0. It's 1-0 at the Allianz. You know what I mean? Like, that was any game. That was anyone's game to be taken. And I just feel like we just never... we just didn't try. I don't know. We just didn't try hard enough.
Shiz, what are you saying?
I agree with a lot with what Cope said. I feel like at a point we were screaming for a midfield change.
Yeah.
Like, screaming for a midfield change. And it's something that I've noticed, like, as time has gone on, is that when you have, like, Georgie and then you have Rice... The way, because of how slow Georgie is, I feel like Rice stays very close to him, and he ends up having to almost assume a very much defensive position.
Yeah.
Whereas when I've seen Rice alongside Partey, and we've seen this again in the Wolves game, when Partey came on, number 5, when he came on, the way Declan Rice started moving, I said, who injected something into this guy? Because he started making the runs forward that we all know Rice to have.
Kante
and
used to do that.
Yeah, like, but because he knows that if I lose the ball, I've got some backup round here, and I know that Partey's gonna come round, he's gonna sweep it up. If not, I've got the back four and I trust him. But when Georgie makes a mistake, it's like you have someone like Musiala running at him. Yeah. As soon as he runs at you, it's just like, bro, everyone's disjointed. People are gonna have to try and run back, and that makes it difficult. So at this point, I'm sitting there screaming, please, can we see a midfield change? Please, can we bring Partey on? He's had experience in the Champions League with Atletico. Bring him on. And then we take... Who came on for him? Jesus.
Who?
For Jorginho.
I
feel like I'm sure he brought Jesus on, and then Havertz went into midfield.
Yes, that's what happened.
And I'm just sitting there like, bro, why are we doing this? Because you know it doesn't work. Like, there's even a stat that I saw that said whenever Rice and Havertz were in the midfield with Jesus up front, we lost all of our games.
What?
Yes, we lost like all of our or majority of our games. We lost them.
But the thing is, I'm not surprised by that because
because
Havertz has not really worked in that midfield.
He has never
That's
worked
why
there.
it's been good the fact that they've actually figured it out with him up top that he can at least crash the defenders.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why he keeps playing that.
Height. It's high.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But that's why I don't get. Then they keep him up top then.
100%.
As opposed to bringing him into the midfield because it's not worked. It's like beginning of the season it wasn't working. Like everything we've seen from Havertz, it's because you've had him
up front.
Up front.
Yeah, and that also explains Martinelli kind of not being in the game a lot. Is like there's so much disruption. We changed our left back so much. We changed our LCM so much. It's like I look at the game sometimes and I'm like, bro, we're so central in how we play sometimes, and it's like. When it gets to like Havertz is always trying to push it right through the middle. Martinelli's out the game. And like the way how Martinelli plays is that he needs that like left back just to ping that ball to him and the guy will run. Like he'll run for it. And we're not seeing him being involved in the game a lot. And it's just like we needed a change there and it didn't happen. And we ended up bringing Nketiah on and
You know what it is with the Champions League, and I think obviously is an experience that Arteta will be able to now see. I think in the latter stages of the competition, what we've seen for years is that it doesn't matter how good your team is. In those latter stages, it's about individual brilliance. What can you do? What can your big players do to turn up in those games?
That is the Champions League.
You can't, no matter how good your system is and all of these stuff. We've seen it for years. City have been the best team in the world for like 4 or 5 years. They've won it once. They've been to 2 finals. They've had a system that has worked in the Premier League, and we know it's going to work because they're going to keep on doing it. They're going to score the goals. But in the Champions League, they come up short because it's not just about the system. It's about those players turning up. Now the KDBs are turning up, the Fodens, and they added the Haaland, the best striker.
Yeah.
I think Arteta's, it's not even a diss to him, but he's almost mirroring that system that Pep has for City, where he's getting players that fit in that system, and he's got that. And it's making sense for the Premier League. But where he keeps on falling short, I think, in these months, we've seen in the last few years, April is a month where he struggles because he now wants all of those players to play consistently throughout the whole season. When it gets tough, you're now going to have to really dig deep. But how deep can they dig?
When they're tired.
When they're tired, they're playing against some of the best teams in the world. They're playing in some of the biggest and best atmospheres in the world as well. You're going to Bayern. Bayern have not been good this year. Terrible. Tuchel has announced he's leaving before the season. That doesn't really happen. Do you know what I mean? There's players falling out with managers, this is that. But those players that fall out, they just want to do well for themselves. Goretzka, Kimmich, playing right back. He don't want to play right back. Do you know what I mean? They had Alphonso Davies out. They had players coming in and they all performed. I think that was the biggest difference that I saw in that game. Bayern Munich had stars that said we're gonna win this game, and Arsenal
they've
didn't
been there
have
before
stars.
as well.
Yeah, they just didn't have
they've
stars.
They've been there, and we ain't. And it's like I know you guys were trying to sit there and nudge each other like, you hear that, bro? But you not nudge each other as much as you like, yeah.
No, but it's
something that I said. I'm happy that we are getting back to a place that we had been before, and it's been so long since we've been there. And I wasn't sitting there saying, "Oh, we're going to win a Champions League." Obviously, I've got to have faith in my team that we're going to try and get there. But for me,
Coach
Hold on. I
was gonna say
people can't you know what I'm
I
saying?
think
have a bit of faith in their team. Like, come on.
I said, hold on. The conversation was, what do you think? What was it? It was either the Prem or the Champ. Which one do you think?
You would win.
We'd be able to win more. And I said, the tournament. I'd go with Champions League.
Yeah.
Because you didn't understand the magnitude of the tournament, and we told you. What did Anita say? Can you do it? Can you do it?
1-0 down.
1-0 down.
Home, and the fans are pressuring.
Can you do it? And it's actually mad that we saw it direct. Like, I thought Arsenal was gonna, no joke. I said, everyone doesn't want Arsenal to win, but I had already admitted in my head, you know what?
That it would be Real Madrid to knock them out. That was in my head.
I thought I was thinking, okay, it's either going to be Madrid or City if they get through to the next stage. I thought Bayern, no fans in the first leg. The second leg, they're just a better team, so you should do it. And you just didn't. And it was so mad to see Saka run out of ideas. Odegaard was the only one really trying to make things work, but you could see that he's been at this. He's dealt with pressure his whole life.
Because he comes from that is born and bred
and
in
also, I saw why Saliba doesn't start for France. I saw why these players are they might be so good for Arteta, but when they're isolated, when the lights, because you know the Champions League, my boy said it, the Champions League is a dark place. You can't come with all this shining light, God's child or Starboy. That's not gonna work. The Champions League is dark, bro.
Guys, it's 1-0. Let's not make it
seem as
if we just got
we got that's how you guys got knocked out. It happens.
No, I understand. Because I've been to the Allianz as well. I've been there. I've been to Bayern Munich's ground. I've been to the Allianz Arena before. It's not easy. It's not easy. So I do understand. No, I'm saying I do understand because we have fought there against their fans. We've been there.
It's tough.
You guys too. Genuinely, I'm actually not even saying it to just try to banter you. I'm actually saying it from a place of being shocked. I was watching it with an Arsenal fan, and they were like, after the game, they said, if you were an Arsenal fan, how would you feel at this moment? You're out of the Champions League. The title race isn't in your hands. Arteta's had a good few years.
How is it not in our hands?
Because if City win all their games, they've won the league.
Yeah, but it's very ifs. You're giving me ifs.
No, but...
There's 6 games to go. 100%. And it's a game of ifs now.
But wait, let me just finish.
Is it or not a game of ifs?
Let me just finish this point.
Are you going to win the league?
So,
I don't know.
No, but wait.
It's a game of ifs. It's all
changed
ifs.
now, though.
Exactly.
Am I going to win the league? I might. Shit.
That answer's
So
changed.
might
You were
City.
saying, yeah.
So might Liverpool.
So wait,
but don't count us out.
He asked me if I was an Arsenal fan, how would I feel? And this was my reasoning, yeah? Champions League out. The league is just not in your hands. Pep said it when it was in Arsenal hands. He said it's not in our hands because it wasn't. If Liverpool, Arsenal, and City all won the rest of their games, City would win.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's not in your hands, yeah. But he was like, so how would you feel as an Arsenal fan? I said, if I'm reflecting, I would just be thinking, when are we going to get over the line? Like, when are we actually going to say, okay, cool, Arteta, this project is great. We've got great players in these positions, but there's something that is stopping us from kicking on. Because we've seen the top four race that happened a few years ago. You finished 5th. Second, it was in your hand to a certain extent, and then you didn't win the league. Now this year, out of the Champions League, yes, you're still new to it, but at the same time, you're still one of the best teams in Europe. So that was my approach. So I can understand why you could be happy, but I would still be wondering, like, what is it going to take for us to get over that? Is it going to be another striker? Do I trust Arteta to bring that player in? Does he like players that have personality? I don't know.
It's frustrating, but it's techie at the same time, because the reality is, right, as you just pointed out there, we were 5th 2 years ago, 2nd last year. Again, we don't know what's going to happen this year, but the reality is this Arsenal team is coming up against arguably the best team we've seen in the Premier League in the last decade.
Lynch.
So that is literally what. So you take this Arsenal team in a few other eras, we're probably winning the Premier League. Like, we're literally coming up against.
What eras though? Because that Aguero era, you're not doing it there. I'll be dead real. The Aguero,
I'm not really hearing that.
Hearing that still. I'm not hearing that. What you're telling me when Silva and Aguero and all them were there, Yaya and De Bruyne.
Okay, we're being too little here. I mean, I'll tell you, the historians are coming out.
No, I'm not saying no, but you said
that's all
Wait, hold on. The
point I'm making is,
how can you say historians? But you spoke about history.
Because the point I'm making is, this is arguably one of the best teams we've seen in probably the last decade. So
otherwise, you lot would have won it. But carry on.
Exactly. So the point I'm making is, the point is that this team arguably is an extremely strong team, but unfortunately, you've just got that titan that is sitting there in Europe, which not a lot of teams can get past.
I agree.
So the problem is what do we judge Arteta on? Because the reality is, if you look at Liverpool, they've struggled the last couple of years against this team. United, forget about it. Chelsea, the same. Like, other teams that were way ahead in their projects have struggled against this Pep team.
But now Arsenal come up now. All of a sudden, you lot have this mad expectation of us.
Because I feel like there's been better Man City team. There has been
better
Man City team.
But this is still a Man City team again that won the treble last year.
No, if you're talking about last year,
it's a treble winning team.
That's what I mean. But at the end of the day, what I'm just trying to say is, you're giving me this whole Crimea River story about be a titan then. Like, at the end of the day, this is the difference.
Be who you say you are.
Yeah, like,
no,
hold on, wait.
So where are you lot then?
No.
So where are you lot then?
We're not talking about
No, but you lot, no.
This is what Arsenal fans do.
If we've been out for X amount of times, you lot make it a thing to say that, but you lot ain't done nothing for 20 years.
Yes.
So what have you lot done?
For 2 years. This is what I'm saying. For 2 years, we ain't done nothing. For 20, you ain't done nothing.
Alright, so for the 2 years, you ain't done nothing. So how come in them 2 years you have so much high expectations of us, but what are you lot doing? I don't want to hear it, bro. You lot love moving the goalpost every single time.
2 weeks ago, she was sitting there shouting, saying, "We're big dogs." That's what she said.
I'm a big dog. I'm a big dog. I want to go for the big dog.
Hold on, I'll
You're
say
not a big dog.
But who are you? You're 11th. You're 11th.
You're not
you
a
are
big dog.
11th.
What is
You
that?
are 11th. You are embarrassing.
I've lost
You
it.
are
No, that's it.
embarrassing.
That's it.
Chelsea.
No, you're not a big dog. You're not in box for years.
Well,
So if you're big dogs,
have I said that and said we're not big dogs?
Have
Have I said that we're not big dogs? All I'm saying is that you lot love to do this whole thing of like, oh, you lot are doing this and you lot are here. You lot say you're the best in Europe.
because
you
you
lot
say
back
you're
up your
big dogs,
talk
so be
and all
big
these
dogs.
things.
That's the difference.
All right, but do you lot think you're big dogs?
They bark.
No, we're not big dogs right now. For the last 2 years, we have not been big dogs.
All right, cool.
But for the last,
but it's the same thing that Copes just
Why
said.
did you
Yeah.
get so triggered?
No, because you lot love
Arsenal fans
talking,
don't
bro.
like
Because
it.
look where you lot are, and you lot love talking
not
about
about
us.
expectations,
It's not about us.
what expectations of Arsenal.
But remember what I said
Like,
to you.
don't
Remember what I
wanna
said to
hear
you.
it.
the expectations that you lot put on
Don't
yourself.
want to
remember
hear
what I
it.
said
Then
to
you
you,
lot would have
yeah?
kept running back to back in a league if it was that easy.
You've never done back to back. We
It
have,
was an Arsenal fan that asked me how I would feel as an Arsenal fan. This isn't got. I promise you,
Nothing to do with Chelsea.
We can banter we can go back and forth. Yeah, we don't need to talk about Chelsea. We can admit where we are. We literally just had a segment on Chelsea. If we're talking about Arsenal and what you feel, you guys can still win the league. But what I'm saying is, in April, there's always a moment where even Arsenal fans come to the realization we don't have enough. Yeah. So I'm saying, when does that change? Because last year, you felt the same thing. This year, you signed Declan Rice, you signed Havertz. People questioned the Havertz signing, but you were making it seem like it was working out. Now you're realizing you still have a hole that you need to fill because Gabby Jesus isn't good enough up top, goals-wise. Havertz isn't good enough up top, goals-wise. And also, you don't really have killers out wide either. You have people that fit the system, but when it gets to the quarterfinals of the Champions League and to the latter stages of the tournament, you see the way Bernardo Silva scored in the semi-final. He just missed a penalty. Those are the big game players that we're talking about. KDB injured, he had to come off, made sure he got the assist. Do you know what I mean? Those type of players. So that's what I'm saying. When do you think that you would get to that stage? Not about us or how well you guys have had a decent season, but I'm just saying it's just when are you gonna get over that hump? And you might do it this season.
That was perfect.
No. I hear what you said.
Listen,
do you know what? I think that the part that you said about. Yo, guys, you've reached halftime here at Keep It 90. If you like what you hear or see, make sure you give us a follow on all platforms, and also make sure you comment as well. Would love to hear what you lot think. Anyway, so the part that you said about when do we get over the line? It's like I watch our games now and I'm frustrated because I feel like every single game we're doing the same thing. We're just trying to walk the ball into the net, and I can't watch it anymore because I'm just like, bro, I know we have a different game plan and we can deploy it. Like, I know we've got shooters from outside the box. We've got Rice, we've got Odegaard. Like, I know that you lot can do this, but it's seeming like we just keep on trying to do the same move and we just keep getting caught out. We're not able to get over the line because people know exactly what we're going to do. And this was this kind of realization I came to last season where I felt like we were just a little bit too predictable. And it's like what you were saying in terms of you just need that person to shine. Like that one person that will just come through and come with that individual brilliance at times. I feel like we don't have it because we'll keep on trying to do the same move. Yeah. And when you keep doing that and people keep finding you out, you're not going to get results. Yeah. And I feel like that's what keeps happening to us right now. And
so who would be your signing? Who's that person? Like, all right, so this ain't getting on because I feel like Saka's still young, so he can still grow into that. But I mean, if you was to make a signing for next season, that you lot are Arsenal fans, I'm gonna ask you lot, who is that person? You've added Declan Rice.
Have to be a striker. If I'm thinking striker, I'm thinking a young striker in the league, and the only person I can think of is Ollie Watkins. Or like Isak.
I think you guys have been linked with Guimaraes today. Actually, I saw.
I don't want that.
And
yeah, she's not a
Guimaraes. No. I think a Guimaraes type signing and a striker would be huge for Arsenal because he's the type of midfielder. Because what you guys think Odegaard isn't who he is. Odegaard is more of a Bernardo Silva. He can create, but he's an all-round midfielder / forward. Gets into the right tight spaces. I think a Bruno is more of like a KDB. Find the pass from on the left, swing it to the striker, and you're thinking, right, where did that pass come from? You need that. That's who you thought. Havertz was never going to be that player.
Even a Paqueta type of
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you need those type of players. But what I was going to say is that after the Champions League loss, and we might as well go into the Premier League games now because you're still in a title race. You beat Wolves 2-0. That was
comfy. Was it comfy? I didn't watch it.
It was comfy after you went 1-0 up.
Yeah.
I think they actually played really well, and they've had a few injuries. And I think
Neto's not there as well, isn't it?
Neto wasn't there.
They had a couple of teenagers on the pitch, on the bench as well.
Cunha was out injured as well.
So you watched it, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel like? I hate saying this because I think it's bare hypothetical. If you feel like both teams were at, how do you feel it would have gone? Off of the way you played. So your team played the way you played, but let's say they had their guys. How do you feel? Because I didn't watch the game, but Arsenal fans didn't seem happy with the game.
I think they were just happy that they won.
Yeah, I think that was it. I mean, after I think the Champions League, and then you take the Villa game just before that, we just wanted to get
the clean sheet.
That's it. Yeah.
So you're now top of the league. City are still yet to play. Liverpool played. They beat Fulham 3-1. Similar situation. Almost like
they just needed a
hangover after going out to Atlanta.
We've all had it,
but
even City.
Yeah. Okay, this is prediction time, just for the title race as we're talking about it. What is going to be the final, the 1 to 3rd? What are we saying?
Listen, I'm going to back my team because my team's in it, so I'll go Arsenal, City, Liverpool.
What are you saying, Shiz?
It's hard to tell. I'm going to go Copes as well. I always back my team, so I'm not going to put anyone else above them.
It's what you said.
I feel like there's another twist and turn. Realistically, it will be City, Arsenal, Liverpool, but I think somehow this Klopp story, I just feel weird. I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't know. This Klopp story just got a little. Because do you know what it is? In storyline basis, it looks like it's all going down. Liverpool's heads dropped. Somehow something happens.
Yeah,
and but. I don't know. I think you lot need to get through North London derby, right? And you got another big game. What's it? Man United.
Yeah.
When you lot get through those games, I need to see where Liverpool is. But I think I'm gonna say Liverpool right now.
You know what? I think it's. I agree with you though. I think City. It's too easy to say City are just going to win all the rest of the games. I think there's going to be a few more twists and turns. I think there's going to be injuries on their side as well. Arsenal. The only reason the Villa result really shocked me. That's where I was like, I don't think they're gonna win the league because it just seemed like something wasn't right. Either Villa found you out or Arsenal just fatigued. And then the same against Wolves. Even though you won that game, it's like, these are really getting at Arsenal. So if the teams that are facing Arsenal now, which is Chelsea, Spurs, United, I think you got Everton on the last day, I believe.
They're gonna want to get us down.
There's a few games where you can. It's not even that you're not gonna win or that you're gonna lose. You just might draw, and that might just widen the distance. You know what I mean? And I think Liverpool getting Trent back is a big thing for them because he was out injured in their period where they were having a hump. Now that he's back, scoring free kicks straight away, like back into creating chances, he's giving them an extra threat, which almost takes away the burden off of the Darwin Núñez's, the Salahs, who hasn't been that
He's
great
not been
recently.
about, you know. He hasn't
not been that
about,
great recently.
Yeah.
So
what I will say is with that though, all of the teams are looking leggy.
Yes.
All of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good that...
Except for Villa. I think Villa's the only one that really... And Leverkusen. They're the only two teams...
Okay, so my prediction is City, Liverpool, Arsenal, yeah? But can we talk about Leverkusen quickly? What the hell is Xavi on, bro?
I don't know what they got in the water.
Mentality monsters.
It's crazy.
It's mentality monsters.
They've scored the equalisers or winners after 90th minute. Like, how many times?
It's crazy. I wasn't even watching. Our producer, shout out to Jem. I saw his tweet saying about how Dortmund were gonna
end it.
I checked the score and I saw 1-1 and I was refreshing because it wasn't even showing the scorer. I was like, who was wrong? Who's wrong? Or Sky Sports app, bro?
I don't listen. They're going for the Invincibles, aren't they? They're doing it. They're going for it.
If they do that, certain Invincibles won't be as rated. I can't lie.
Oh, here we go.
Yawn, man.
I'm joking.
Don't take away our accolades.
You see,
Don't take away our
every
accolades.
time, every single time. All right, cool. That's the title race for now. There was a huge game at the bottom. Nottingham versus Everton.
Yeah.
Everton won 2-0. Nottingham feel hard done by, like to the highest extent that I've seen this season. We've seen the Liverpool controversies. Yeah. We've seen the Chelseas. We've seen everything. We've seen the Arsenal against Newcastle.
And Newcastle as well.
But this, I think that this might have been the biggest like howler that I've seen from VAR.
Takes the cake
ever.
Man.
But the capitulation from Forest and their social media manager, who I don't think actually was in control, and it might have been someone else higher up,
facts.
really had a moment that I think they will regret. Because it made everyone question, like, we understand you're in pain, but at the same time, we all go through it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Give us a gist. What was the tweet?
So they said, let me get the actual tweet up.
Tweet
yeah.
was like, yeah.
It was really bad.
They called out everyone.
They
said
called
that
out
the
everyone.
person on VAR was a Luton fan, and the person on VAR was Stuart Atwell, I believe.
Yeah, it was Stuart. He's a Luton fan.
They said he's a Luton fan. They warned him. They warned them before the game.
And so it's come out. It's come out after that. They didn't actually warn them. They didn't warn them. 3 extremely poor decisions, 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but it didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. We will now consider its options. Then they said 2 hours ago from us shooting, Forest has submitted a formal request to the PGMOL to release into the public domain the audio recordings between officials during yesterday's match against Goodison Park. The club has requested this to be shared for 3 key match incidents. Young. I can't believe that.
Yeah, he was.
We firmly advocate for the broader football community and supporters to have access to audio and transcript for full transparency, ensuring the integrity of the sport is upheld. The problem with that is,
I love that.
I agree with that.
There's a show that they already do that. So what they're asking for is going to happen regardless.
Yep.
What do you mean
So-
there's a show?
Was that the one with
Howard Webb and Matt
that's
Bowen.
it.
What, did they release everything though?
They release
not,
everything.
Not just when it's
They
like...
release
No,
those
every
situations.
single
When
thing.
those situations happen, they release it and they say, this is why this happened.
Yeah, good. I need to see that.
So the thing is, it's happened so many times this season that we are going to see the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, it's just not going to change the outcome of
Well,
anything.
yeah, this is the problem.
So I think that's where they went wrong. Nottingham Forest have been hard done by this season. I can't lie to you, to the point where they've signed Clattenburg as a advisor.
Yeah.
I think that's where they went wrong. They made it deeper than it needs to be because Clattenburg is getting bread for no reason, unless that's just
I hear it.
unless it's just him doing it off the whim, which I don't think it is. Even if he used to advise them that decision was wrong, it doesn't change the outcome of the result. They're not going to go back and say, sorry, here's 2 goals, or you can take the pen behind closed doors. The result is the result.
I don't think it's just about that, though. I think it's about awareness as well, because everyone has gone through these situations in the Premier League, and I feel like if you don't speak on it, like, how do you expect change?
Yeah.
And, like, even just now, the Premier League responded. They said the Premier League was extremely disappointed to read the comments made by Nottingham Forest on social media yesterday following its match against Everton. We note the FA has confirmed it will be investigating the club statement. It is never appropriate to improperly question the integrity of match officials, and the nature of these comments means the Premier League will also be investigating the matter in relation to the league's rules. And I can't lie, I'm here for it, bro. If you sit there and say that this guy is a Luton fan and his team's in a relegation zone and you feel a way about it, you're gonna go and bring it up. If you don't change it, and I feel like there was 3 penalty incidents that I believe were straight penalties.
I think 2 of them were. The
Two
last two.
I was definitely
Like
that convinced
100%.
by.
The first one was like...
The first one was a bit give and take.
Yeah.
Depends on a good day, bad day.
Yeah,
Depends what
yeah.
they're feeling. But them two, I do not care. That was, I can't lie. I will be vexed.
Yeah, I'd be
and
vexed as
it's I've
They're
had enough
fighting
of
for
us
their
staying
lives.
quiet. I've had enough of it, man.
Yeah,
Because
and-
Arteta stayed quiet. You made it a big thing when that happened against Newcastle, and then now he stayed quiet, bro. You will not silence people, and Nottingham Forest, speak up. Because you're ready to dock points from people and do all of these things. Nah, speak up.
There's ways though. But what
Nah,
you
man.
said, what you said.
Nah.
I think the reason why this is blown out of proportion and is similar to what. All right, you just spoke about the first penalty, and we said, what did you say? You said depending on the day.
Yeah.
That's the problem with today.
VAR.
That is the problem with VAR. Depending on the day, there's no clean cut and precise rules on what is and what isn't. I.e., Wan-Bissaka's penalty yesterday, Chelsea not
Grealish.
getting one.
Yeah.
Don't make sense. Bayern Munich, when Saka's penalty with Neuer, but then in the Real Madrid game, they got it.
yeah,
Do you know
similar.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's this level of inconsistency that is just continuous with this VAR thing. And I'm tired of hearing it's new. Maybe it has got to the point where Nottingham and maybe other teams now do need to start speaking up and outing people, because your inconsistencies has brought this. You know, if VAR was consistent right now and this was their first mistake, it would still blow up, but it'll be like, yo, look, how many times has this happened? This ain't a regular thing. Like, it's a big mistake. It's being investigated. But because this seems to be ongoing, now people are looking at it like, bro, you're match fixing. You're trying to... Because it's so inconsistent on a regular basis.
But
It's poor.
I think it just shows the level of refereeing that we're at now in the world, to be honest. Because I think with the Champions League is a bit different because they are so, whether you like it or not, the handball is the handball. If it touches the man's hand in the box, whether you like it or not, it's a handball. Yeah. Offside, they've got semi-automated. So even if you want to argue it, you're going to see the line and see the player's frame and you're going to say, okay, fair enough. I think in the Premier League, we're leaving it down to these humans that are prone to make errors because they are human. Even though that they've got the system in front of them, it's just going to constantly happen. We've seen it all season. They said, I watched the ref watch today, they said Stuart Atwell is one of the best VAR assistants in the world. He does the Champions League games, he goes to Lyon and he does all of that stuff. Yeah. So if that is the case, and he watched that game, and he didn't even suggest the referee, Anthony Taylor,
to go look at
to
it.
go
to the
and look for yourself.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you know, like, that's the thing. Even if you're a Luton fan, if you're a football fan, it's the same way when Arsenal played City, there were some challenges that the ref was like, because it's a big game, we're going to allow it.
And let it go.
This is a big game at the bottom of the table. Every point matters. Every challenge, every goal, every decision matters. Yep. So if you need that extra look, just tell a man to go to the screen.
Yeah.
You want him to be the final call.
I'm here for that
no,
audio.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I want to hear that.
And this is what's so crazy because I feel like there's nothing that can save this scenario,
Yeah,
and that's how bad it is. And this ain't the first time this has happened. It's just that 2 teams that have had points deducted. It's a lot right now. It's the relegation battle. This is because teams know, like maybe not Everton. I think if Everton ever got relegated, I think they'll bounce back. But I'm talking about other teams know there is no guarantee, and if you drop down, you might never come back up.
Yeah, fact.
There's like I remember when it was Charlton. I remember when I always thought Charlton was, and we ain't seen them since. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of. And it's tough, so it means a lot. That game was as big as a Chelsea versus anyone, a Man City, Arsenal right now. That is a massive game. Respect it and treat it properly.
Yeah, facts. And,
that's it.
And at the bottom now, so this is what the table currently looks like. It's Burnley on 23 points, Luton on 25 points, Forest on 26 points. Everton, after their win, they're on 30 points with a game in hand. So Forest are really stuck in that relegation bout. Like it's not a joke. So I can understand the frustration that they're going through.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens because Burnley have been picking up points secretly. They should have got the win against Brighton. They got the win against who did they play on the weekend?
Oh, was it Sheffield United?
Was it Sheffield? I think it was Sheffield United.
And then before that, I think
they got the win against Sheffield United 4-1. That's a big win. Luton obviously lost at home 5-1 to Brentford. So it is really in Nottingham's hands. But where they feel like they're being hard done by, it's going to be a difficult spot. Do you see Forest making it out, or do you think Luton or Burnley can make a late push?
After what I saw what happened to Luton on the weekend, yeah, I think Nottingham's good, man.
Yeah.
I think Nottingham's good.
I think
Nottingham's good. I think the defeat. Nottingham's going to use this. They got players, you know. It's not like they've got some... Who? Nottingham do?
Yeah, they've got City next, and then they've got Sheffield United. That's a big game. Then they've got Chelsea. Then they've got Burnley on the last day.
I think I might watch that, you know.
Wow.
I think I might watch... That is going to be a massive game.
Things, man.
That's it. That's mad. But but it's real though, because I think at this point, as fans, we always talk about whether the game is going, whether we're losing love for it and stuff like that. We're seeing a few things here and there that makes you love the sport. Like, do you know what I mean? The Champions League nights, you can never really get over those nights, whether you're part of it or not.
Yeah.
But then when you see things like this, like 3 decisions that are just wrong.
Yeah.
And then it's the biggest talking point after the game. You're just giving so much ammunition to the people that want to have a problem with the game, for example.
As it is right now,
It's just like, just do better. They say they do meetings. They say they do consultations. They say they're constantly speaking to managers. We need better. We actually need better refs.
Yeah.
To just take over, because if they don't,
it's gonna
just gonna keep getting
especially
worse,
if they add this blue card thing. Do you know what I mean?
People are moving like they're a cult. Like, we can't talk out on them. Like, or we can't fight. No, bro, talk back.
It's got to be done.
The only way things are going to get better is if we talk up. If we just sit there in silence and keep suffering and feeling like we keep getting hard done by, but we just have to keep our mouth shut, how is that going to improve the game? Sometimes you have to say stuff to improve the game, and it takes everyone getting together and being like, nah, I feel hard done by too. Yeah, me too.
It happened in the NBA, though.
Come on, man.
Because when the refs in the NBA were they were dishing out text left, right, and centre. I swear that was even this season as well. They were dishing out text.
Heavy-handed,
Then all of a sudden, people started to speak out, and things had to change. But then the problem is, like NBA and other sports, and I've said it before, why is this video technology the worst one? Why is this one the one that is just so bad?
It's because people are the people in control. That's a problem. You're getting Anthony Taylor having a bad game, and then the next day,
your referee, your VAR in a big game. Nah,
you need a separate team. But it's also, we're slow with things. Like, if you look at the Prem, you got the semi-automated systems that were in place in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You vote against it. And then you're having all this controversy. Oh, we're now going to add it.
And now you're another season behind because whatever everyone's
if that technology's there, just bring it in. Like, why are you delaying things?
I agree with that.
And then, it causes all this controversy.
I agree with that.
We've got a few minutes left. There's a few shout-outs that we have to give. Shout-out to Jude Bellingham, getting another winner against Barcelona in stoppage time.
Yep.
The kid is special.
Yep.
And it looks like they're going to win the league. So if he wins the Champions League, he's winning the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, wait, do you not think that's possible now? Because
100%.
But we say 100%. But we've seen people that should have won Ballon d'Ors before.
No, because Jude is playing for Real Madrid. That's the factor. That's the factor.
That is true.
Real Madrid.
Modric
got a Ballon d'Or finishing second.
Was it second or third? Second.
Second
Yeah,
in the
What-
World
in
I hear
Cup.
it, but it just this is just another reason why that Ballon d'Or. I don't know. It loses
No, but you
value.
can't
in
tell
this.
me-
Somehow
wouldn't deserve it.
Messi might still win it.
It
Somehow.
would- Exactly.
The next shout out has to be for Emma Hayes and Chelsea women for beating Barcelona women 1-0 in Barca. The first time that they've lost at home since 2019.
That's
mad, you
That's
know.
a big win. I believe
Yeah,
Chelsea
massive.
had under 35% possession. I think they only created a few chances.
It was a
but
scary game. I watched parts of it. It weren't nice.
Yeah.
But it nothing.
But it's a
resilience. It was resilience.
You take it. You take it. So now they have something to fight for.
Has she
I
been
really want Emma
Has
to.
she been punished yet for that push? Or
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's
But
okay.
I love Emma so
Okay.
much, man. I really love her. So she went to man's face and said, "Hey,
That was crazy.
let me chat to my guys." But yeah, that's another big shout out. I think the second leg is next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week. So that's huge. And then to finish off, we've got Mertesacker opening a mental health centre
Oh, lovely.
in Islington. I think it's huge. Mental health is
Massive.
a big factor in today's generation, and
You
it
know our
should
fans
be.
Need it, boy.
Yeah, fans need it. Everyone needs it.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest,
everyone does.
100%.
No, facts.
life's
100%.
not easy.
At all.
It's not.
And yeah, and I think it's just good when football teams get involved in like community projects like that, because it makes them more human, it makes the clubs more human,
Yeah,
and it makes you just more attached to the club. So
definitely.
yeah, man, big shout out to Arsenal,
Big
Per
shout out,
Mertesacker, you know, the culture club and that, they like calling themselves that. So we'll
Do
give
it
them
for the
that.
culture again, man. You're welcome.
But that was another episode of Keep It 90. It was a fiery one.
Oh,
We
wait.
spoke about everything.
One more thing.
Oh no.
Nah, so it's positive.
Oh gosh.
Let me just get my shield
Nah,
up.
that's
because I don't
positive.
know. Like-
Shout out to the Eagles, man. Shout out to Jem, innit?
Hey.
Hold that L.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
Jem.
Hold that L in South East
Yeah.
London.
Yeah, that was-
How
that
do
was-
you
that
feel,
was a big one.
Jem?
That was a big one still.
Hey,
Jem, I didn't
Eze's goal,
start
by
that.
the way. Eze's goal
The
as well.
technique.
The tech
The
behind
technique,
that.
bro.
West Ham.
Sorry, but Crystal Palace, they
Dusted.
can cook something, man. I need a Lise at the bridge. But yeah, that is another episode of
Little E threw that one in there.
That was another episode of
carpet.
Keep It 90. Make sure you stay tuned. Let us know what questions you have on social media or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever way you want to contact us. We're on TikTok as well, on X, formerly known as Twitter. And yeah, we'll be here next week. See you guys later. Peace.
Yo, what's going on, peeps? Copes here with Keep It 90. If you enjoyed what you just saw, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube and keep up to date with us on all social platforms.